Norman Ernest Borlaug, born March 25, 1914, was an American biologist, humanitarian, and Nobel laureate. He is regarded as the father of the Green Revolution and the man who saved a billion lives. Borlaug grew up in a small farm in Iowa. His decision to pursue higher education can be attributed to his grandfather, who always supported his learning. He attended the University of Minnesota, where he received his Bachelor of Science in Forestry in 1937. Borlaug worked to pay his way through college, and one of his jobs was as a leader in the Civilian Conservation Corps, where he worked with many unemployed people on federal projects. His time there affected his view on food and how it lightened up the face of the workers. Borlaug also worked for the United States Forest Service, where he was stationed at the most isolated part of the lower 48 states at the time, Idaho's Salmon River. Before graduating in 1937, Borlaug witnessed a pivotal lecture by Alvin Charles Stackman, a professor and soon-to-be head of the plant pathology group at the University of Minnesota, on plant disease. Stackman encouraged Borlaug to pursue research in plant pathology instead of forest pathology. Borlaug received a Master of Science degree in 1940 and a PhD in plant pathology and genetics in 1942. He worked as a microbiologist at DuPont in Wilmington, Delaware from 1942 to 1944. There, Borlaug researched bactericides, fungicides, and preservatives. Borlaug tried to enlist in the Army after the attack of Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, but was rejected under wartime labor regulations. When the Rockefeller Foundation started working with the Mexican government for agricultural development, Stackman and other agronomists proposed a new organization that focused on soil development, maize and wheat production, and plant pathology. Borlaug was offered a position at the newly established Cooperative Wheat Research and Production Program in Mexico, but declined so he could finish his war service in DuPont. In 1944, Borlaug set off for Mexico as part of the first Rockefeller Foundation agricultural team. The goal of the Cooperative Wheat Research and Production Program was to boost Mexico's wheat production, at this point in time the country was importing a major portion of its grain. He developed a semi-dwarf, high-yield, disease-resistant wheat varieties. He trained unskilled researchers and lacked proper equipment. Despite initial setbacks, Borlaug and his team made 6,000 individual crossings of wheat and increased Mexican wheat production fivefold. Plants were backcrossed to produce vigorous hybrids that could survive in multiple geographic conditions and resist multiple diseases. As a result, Mexico became a net exporter of wheat by 1963. Expansion to South Asia began in 1961, where the dwarf wheat strains were tested in locations such as India and Pakistan. The increase in wheat production in those areas alleviated the famine and starvation that was only aggravated by wartime struggles. Pakistan nearly doubled its wheat production by 1970. India became self-sufficient in the production of all cereal products by 1974. In 1964, he was made the director of the International Wheat Improvement Program at El Batan, Texcoco, as part of the newly established Consultative Group on International Agricultural Research's International Maize and Wheat Improvement Program. The organization was funded by the Rockefeller and Ford Foundations and the Mexican government. These collective increases in yield have been labeled the Green Revolution, and Borlaug is often credited with saving over 1 billion people worldwide from starvation. He won the 1970 Nobel Peace Prize for his contributions in fighting world hunger, ensuring food security for a vast portion of the world's population. Borlaug was an honest man who worked hard to ensure everybody could have a full stomach. He was the first in the field at sunrise and the last to leave at sunset. His determination led him to succeed in serving humanity for the better.